Testing. Testing. Let's see how this goes. And I think we're up and running. And now I can pull up some of this stuff. And let's see if I can share this stream. Open up the old Discord. And send out this link. Announcements. Okay. There goes that. There goes that. And now I need to make a to-do list for what I want to develop here. So let me pull this up. Oh, shoot. People are coming in. Aramis, what's up? This is weird. This is my first time live streaming, so I don't even know if this is working, and I don't know if you can hear me, and I don't know anything. So let me know if it works for you guys. Hey, Eli's here. Nice. Come on. I'm gonna kick you out of the chat, Andy. Hope you guys all had a good New Year and a good Christmas. I was feeling a little lonely today, and I thought, well, why not just turn on the camera and then I can make some video games alongside other people while they're watching. So, yeah, you guys are the worst. Yep. So new year, new me, best version of Thomas, making a new fishing game over here, and I figured, hey, well, this is fun. There's a bunch of people jumping in the chat. I didn't think that anybody would join, and I was just gonna stare at myself this whole time, but that's pretty fun. I want to see if I can pull up a video to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it. It's called something prototype videos. And I think I named it. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see a bit of this game here. Let me show you what the initial prototype looked like. If I pull this up over here. So initially the idea for this game that I was working on is you control this little dude who goes around and collects fish. And as you collect fish, you can unlock more fishermen that will do the fishing for you. And then you pick up more fish, open up this shop, buy more fishermen, etc., etc. But then I realized I don't know if I want to actually control a character like this. Open to feedback or suggestions, whatever you guys think would be more interesting. Happy to hear your thoughts. But this is kind of the prototype that I initially developed, where you can like buy these different fishing rods and you can equip them to different fishermen so that it increases their rate at which they fish. But then more recently, I've been switching back to a new type where there is no character. You just have this overhead God mode, and you can go and highlight the fish and collect them just with your cursor. So that's what I have been working on over the last couple of days, and make it an MMO. Get out. Soul Engine Dev, what's up? When's multiplayer coming? Okay, live streaming was a bad idea. This was a bad call. This is going to be the one and only time that this happens. I am alive. I'm alive. Can we get gambling too? Okay. Are you saying that because you saw my other prototype? Because my other prototype is actually a slot machine. Here, let me see if I can find it. Might not have it in here. Let me look. Okay, yeah, here's my other prototype. Oops. A Coliseum slot machine auto battler where you get to roll for your troops and your gear and then set them to fight the enemies in a big arena. Yeah, I actually really like this idea, but it isn't very fun to play right now. And so that's kind of the conundrum that I'm in with that. It has a lot of possibilities for the future, I think, for different enemy types and different ways that you can kind of break the slot machine by duplicating the things that you roll or whatever, and different power-ups. I think in this video it shows the archers that have like an ice power. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, this might, yeah. So like, yeah, you can like freeze enemies. And then these guys are like necromancers. They can actually, they can raise the dead to keep their teammates alive. So I don't know. I think that this prototype has some good possibilities, but the kind of the issue that I was running into is like the only, what's it called? The only meaningful choice that the player has is in the store. And so I realized that, you know, the whole point of the gameplay would have to be in the store unless I wanted to make the combat actually immersive instead of an auto battler. So, yeah, I might keep working on that. But today I wanted to build out this other prototype because I think that it could be a lot of fun. Because I like fishing and I like collecting fish. So we'll see. Now I'm kind of realizing that, oh no. Sorry, I need to catch up on chat. This is the first time I've ever live streamed, so give me a bit of a break here. Might be my first and last. Let's see, when's multiplayer coming? Yes. Hope you have a good stream. Thank you very much. Oh, nice. Nice. Hey, Thomas, when's the next podcast coming out? Good question. I recorded 2 podcasts yesterday, and I have 2 more slated to record later in January. So, and I have one that's actually almost already done edited, and I can't remember when that's supposed to go live. I think next Monday I have a topical video about making a game in a new game engine, which will be really fun. And then probably I also have a New Year's video that I'm planning on releasing maybe the week after that. And then I'll probably post more podcasts, but I don't know. My YouTube schedule's constantly changing. Aramis says there's lots of polish already. I have Slots and Daggers on my to playlist. Yeah, Slots and Daggers is super fun. I played through it and I thought it's the perfect amount of scope for a slot machine kind of dungeon crawler game. I think they did a lot of things right, but it's very small in the fact that like there's one upgrade that you can get in Slots and Daggers where it completely breaks the game because it lets you re-roll the previous 2 slots that you have. And that's when it feels really fun, but it's also like necessary. Like you have to buy that upgrade if you want to beat the game, I think. And Eli says you will not get anything done today. Yeah, you're probably right. Looking awesome, Thomas. Great to see you again. Well, thank you, John Livingston. I appreciate that. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to make a little to-do list for what the sort of features that I want to add into this game today. And you guys have seen the extent of it. Right now in this kind of game mode, all you can do is it just auto spawns 1 fisherman. Then you can go pick up the fish. You can collect them. But there's no way to open the shop. There's no way to buy upgrades. And I also want to make I don't know if it's going to be if it's going to be based off of like a timer that goes off, or if I want to just keep it as a running thing where the fishermen are just always going. But first order of business is to be able to pull up the store pop-up. So that's what I'm going to work on first. And we'll see how much attention I pay to chat while I code. I'll try and keep you guys engaged in this. The mic sounds nice. Oh, nice. Love that. I bought a new one because my last one broke. So that was a bummer. Cool dude. Hope it's one with you and Aramis. Those podcasts with you are solid watches. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I should have Aramis on the podcast again. I think we would have a really good conversation. But TBD. Yeah, one of them is Aramis. We are recording a podcast next week, I think. Or 1.5 weeks or something. Okay. So right now I'm just going to cheat because it's all about quick iteration, baby. So let's say every time I hit the O button, we are going to open the store pop-up. And that should do it, hopefully. Will there be making lures mechanic? Ooh, that would be fun. I've gone fishing all my life, but I've never gone fly fishing except for one time recently when I went to Yosemite. And here, actually, I'll show you guys a picture. Live streams are fun because I get to show. It's like a big show and tell. See if I can find it here. Here we go. I went to Yosemite with my wife and my daughter and my wife's cousin and his family. And he taught me how to fly fish for the first time. So this is him fly fishing in Yosemite. That was a lot of fun. But he was kind of introducing me to the whole aspect of, in fly fishing, it's very common to make your own lures. And that's just something that's so foreign to me because every time I've gone fishing, it's typically been in a lake, sometimes the ocean. But you usually just use like a metal or plastic lure or like a worm that's alive that you throw out on a hook. So, but yeah, I like it. Make your own lure mechanic. Right now, there's an upgrade in this prototype for getting a better bobber. So obviously all this stuff is subject to change. This is just so that I can start testing stuff. But if you look right now, each fisherman, he has this little bobber thing. And so the idea is that there's like the fishing rod, the bobber, and they do different upgrades. Right now, this is going to be a bit broken because if I buy a rod to upgrade, it's going to spawn here, but I have no way to get it to the fisherman because before you had like a little character that you can control and bring it to him. But one thing that we can do here, I think, is what's my cheat for adding more fish? F for fish. That checks out. So I can buy more land, and then it goes, and then it spawns from the depths of the ocean, and then you have all of these extra slots that you can fill with fishermen. So we can just buy a bunch of fishermen. And actually, I think I did make a cheat for adding more fishermen too. So I can just add a bunch. There you go. And so now you can see as you buy more fishermen, they start taking up the slots. And the idea is like buy more fishermen, collect more fish, buy more land to fill with more fishermen, upgrade the fishing poles. As I'm explaining it, I think that this game has a lot of potential to be fun. So I'm excited to kind of build it out more and see if I can find that fun. Live stream is fun and all, but productivity suffers. Yes, that's right. Haven't kept up in a while. What happened to the Strategy Thronefall project? That is a great question. And I'm planning on making an entire video about it that is probably going to come out I don't remember when. Let me look at my YouTube calendar. Yeah, my YouTube schedule is not up to date. I have a lot of videos planned. I'm really, I hired an editor to start editing my videos, which frees me up to do more videos. So I'm excited about that. I'm aiming for one video per week heading into 2026. But yeah, it's a good question. I'm making a whole video about sort of my big mistakes of 2025. The biggest of which is that I didn't release a single game. I ported one old game to a new system. I put Tanks But No Tanks on Nintendo Switch, but that was the only release that I did all year last year. So I was just relying on the long tail of game sales. And so, spoiler alert, I overscoped. So you can see how like this game can get pretty fun with when you have a lot of fish ready to collect. And I was thinking about like limiting the capture rate of not just the capture rate of fish, but the collection rate so that you can, oh, I broke something. Let's look at that. Oh, it's been destroyed, but we're still trying to reference it. Nice. Let's see. This is how we're sorting the fish to collect them. I think we just need to do the same thing with collectibles as we were doing with. I kind of bastardized some of my code for bridges and docks and how I was using the erase feature to target how I'm picking up the fish. So that's why this is talking about erasables. Add range, and then we can do this. Maybe. Oh, that makes sense. We just have to make two different lists, which is fine. We'll just go through this, like this, that. Okay, I think that would fix that error. We'll see. Righteous, I'll take that as some good foreshadowing. I like to listen to game dev podcasts when putting my son to sleep at night or doing chores on the property. Looking forward to it. Yeah, dude, that is exactly what I love to do too. Whenever I'm doing yard work we kind of have this bedtime routine after dinner. My wife will put our daughter to bed and I will clean up the kitchen and do the dishes. And I always pop in my headphones and I like to listen to game dev podcasts during that time too. Looks cozy, nice and minimal. Yeah, those are the things that I am aiming for. So I'm happy to hear that. Excited for the video. How long have you been working on this project? How long have I been working on this? I don't know. Maybe like a week or something. It's something that I started on and then I put down and moved on to other things. I already showed it once, but I'll show it again just in case people haven't seen. This is what it looked like initially. So you actually had a character that you controlled and you would run around and collect fish, and you could upgrade like your speed, and there's like a stamina bar so that you can sprint, and then you can buy fishermen from the shop and increase your productivity of fish that are being produced. But yeah, the main interaction with the player was being able to control this 3D person and then bring your upgraded fishing rods to the different fishermen. But now I am trying a new iteration where there is no character and you just get to collect it with your mouse, which I think will be good in the long run. because it kind of just seemed burdensome to have to run a lot of places. And I like the top-down perspective as well. I think this will be a fun way to expand the land and kind of see all your different fishermen, get to collect them that way. So let's see. Like the color palette, this is a custom one, or did you get it somewhere? Oh, so the color palette is stolen from my game Bridges and Docks. So if you look at that game, there's a lot of different color palettes in here. I don't know if I have a screenshot of the color palettes. No, but yeah, I kind of figured out the different shaders that I wanted and the post-processing effects for this game, which is like it's more like a tool. It's just an island generation tool, and that's kind of where I got my color scheme that I'm putting together for this prototype. Congrats on getting an editor hired. I saw you debating it in past videos, and it's definitely a step forward to hire someone to take a lot of your plate. Yes, I realized that I was not getting a lot of development done because I was spending so much time on YouTube and editing, and even just the bare minimum. You know, for a while there, I was just recording podcasts and doing the bare minimum of getting. Sorry, I just looked at the stats and I got so distracted because it says there's 48 concurrent viewers, which is mind-boggling to me. That's actually pretty crazy. What I was saying is, so getting an editor was really useful for me because it freed me up from the worst part of YouTube that I dreaded every single time. But I was kind of under this impression that I had to keep editing my videos myself because I wanted them to turn out a certain way. But I found somebody who I really liked that I had seen his editing work on another channel. And so I reached out to him, and he's been doing really good. And yeah, I think it'll be a good long-term partnership. And now I get to use that time that I would have spent editing videos, and I get to focus on things like ideation for videos, or developing games, or looking for sponsorships for YouTube videos. So I think it's a good move, and I'm happy with it so far. Let's see. You could add different fish types of value, but also just junk too. Oh yeah, that's an interesting thought. I was planning on adding different fish types that you can catch that have different values, but adding junk in would be really funny, like a boot. Hold on a second. I'm gonna start an ideas sheet over here. Yeah, I'll do it over here. Open a new window. We'll move this over here. We'll call it Fishing Game Ideas. Catching junk / boots. That's a good one. That makes the list. Okay. Eli from Treefall Studios asks, what plugin are you running to see net revenue? Oh, that's a good question. This is not accurate, by the way. I think it's a pretty conservative calculation. It's this one called Steam Revenue Calculator. I just searched it up on the Chrome store. Yep. Will the fishermen get to take breaks every once in a while? Oh, that's funny. Over Christmas break, I played the Norp Apolog. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a fun playthrough. But one of the things that stood out to me about that game is that the workers get to take breaks every once in a while. So if you're not familiar with this game, it's like a really fun idle game where you basically just attack a rock and then you collect the shards that come off of the rock. but you get to hire all these different types of units that work for you. The primary ones are like, there's two basic ones. One is they just attack the rock, and then the other ones collect the shards and bring it back. And so I definitely want to borrow some ideas like that for my fishing game as well. Like, obviously you start off manually collecting the fish like this, but I think it would be fun to be able to employ runners that run around the islands and automatically collect fish so that you don't have to be doing this all the time as well. I'm literally going to get nothing done just reading this chat, but that's okay. I'm having a good time. But also I'm going to add that to the list. Fishermen taking breaks. I mean, they kind of take breaks already right now, just based off of how long it takes them to cast. And that's something that's upgraded when you buy them a new fishing rod. So the better fishing rods will make them faster. But like, it would be interesting to have them like go home to a house and then have them like sleep before they can come back. I think that would be interesting as well. Let's see. I gotta go faster here. I got on YouTube to watch something on how to detail my models, but now I'm watching your stream. Nice. Glad to hear it. Same, I was just starting the other Thomas, do a followers let's play, and saw this Thomas pop up. He's alive. Yeah. I know. It's been I probably won't talk about it publicly in a video, but it was a hard few months, fall and winter. So I just was doing the bare minimum on the YouTube side, but trying to really ramp things up in January 2026. Thoughts on Aramis hitting a little jackpot with a relatively simple game? I have many thoughts about Aramis hitting a little jackpot with a relatively simple game. That was the other game that I played a lot of over Christmas break, was a game about feeding a black hole, and really impressed. Those guys, Corey and Andy, they made a really good game, and I actually have a podcast that I plan on posting with both Corey and Andy separately, and so those will be up on the channel pretty soon. Just tuned in. The game without the character seems better and easier for the player to use. Is this an incremental game? Yes, that is the plan. This is going to be an incremental game. Fishing game, dual wielded, nice. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, fishing just seems like one of those things that it just feels right. You know, collecting fish, I don't know if it helps me feel closer to my ancestors or what, but I think that it's a really solid theme to build a game on top of. But also I love water shaders, so that helps. Nice, LOL. 48 viewers is going to blow your mind when that hits 500 if you do these live coding sessions regularly. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't even look at the viewer count. I literally was just thinking I am feeling kind of lonely today, and I wish I had somebody to talk to while I was programming. And so I was like, well, I'll just figure out how to put together a live stream. But now I'm being very distracted. So, yeah, I tried out Norp pretty recently too. Yeah, it's a good game. I'm familiar with Corey. What happened in their situation? Okay, yeah. So a whole podcast will come out. Corey Darby, he goes by Thornity. It was Thornity and Aramis that put together a game about feeding a black hole, and so they had a partnership in co-developing it. So. Any plans for optional tension? Like some creatures try to collect you. There's always a bigger fish. Could also be a competitive tension where somebody else collects fish as well. Ooh, okay. Okay, I like this. Who else is collecting fish? So obviously, if they are just like laying on the land like this for a while, you might have to compete with somebody who's trying to collect them also. I like that a lot. Could be birds. Could be some sort of other humans. Um, could be another sort of animal like foxes or something. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming some ideas. But I really like the idea of having an antagonist type of character that comes in and steals the things that you're trying to collect. That's a good idea. Thorny calls that the do once then automate. Yeah. Good morning from Japan. Nice. Good morning. It is 2 o'clock here, which means that it is time for my afternoon cup of coffee. Not every catch is a fish. Will there be dud items that you can pull up, tires, etc.? Okay, nice. Yeah. We'll add that to the list as well. Tires for junk that you can catch. Family first, man. We're all just glad you're doing better. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Oh, dual wielded. You're making a fishing game too? Nice. Okay. Do you have any dual wielded? Do you have any like a Steam page or anything that you've posted about it yet? I'd love to check it out. Kind of compare notes about the fishing world. I always love adding fishing to my games, and I don't even fish. Yeah. It's so relaxing. It's a romantic type of relaxation too. I think everybody kind of dreams about like being on a boat and there's like no wind, the water's really still, and that's kind of like a lot of people's picturesque sort of peaceful environment. Taking off, looking forward to seeing your live streams more later. Yeah, thanks. I don't know if I plan on doing more live streams later. We'll see. But I'm enjoying this one, and I figured I would just see if I could get the technology to work. Bears, watch out for the bears. Okay, we'll add that to the list. Bears would be fun. Otters, nice. Random cats. Okay, yes. This is good. The fish could also slowly flop back towards the water. Oh, that's a good idea too. Could fish be dying and going bad if you don't get them for a while? Oh, that's a good... Yeah, they could go rancid. Yeah, that's true too. Rancid fish decaying. Maybe the land is ice and the fish slide around after catching them. Oh, I like that. So, yes, obviously there will be more biomes in the game as we go. You guys are full of good ideas. Tom, you should make a game about crabbing. I thought about it. I love crabbing in real life too. So I think that would be really fun. But to be honest, I would probably structure it very similarly to this. Maybe we could just throw crab pots in this game. Ooh, message in a bottle. That's fun. I like that. And that could be some sort of perk too. It could be just like lore or like a plot element, or it could be something that gives you some sort of temporary upgrade, which would be fun. If a cat just came from one of those rocks to steal your fish, would be really funny. Yeah, that would be funny. Maybe a giant fish that eats the fisherman. That would... Wow, that's a whole element that I wasn't even thinking about. I was thinking fishermen being a permanent upgrade, but it would be kind of funny if you could kill them somehow. I need to add fishing to my game. Chat equals scope creep. Yeah. I literally thought that I would get like 1 to 3 people join this live stream because I didn't think that it would be something that YouTube pushed. But nope, here we are. It's fun to see a lot of people that I know and love show up in chat though. Dual wielded, no Steam page yet. Should be up soon. It's a fishing game plus dating sim where you can ask whatever you catch on a date. It's called Hooking Up. Oh my word, that is maybe the best elevator pitch for a game that I've heard in a long time. Hooking Up. Okay. Did you have the idea for that game first, or did you have the idea for the title first? Yeah, we have infinite scope creep over here. Magnet fishing would be a cool idea. Oh yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of that where people like drag a magnet along the bottom of a river or whatever and then catch a bunch of junk or like an Apple Watch or whatever. Hi, what is this game? Okay, sorry it took so long for me to get to that comment. Revolver. Oh, that's such a hard name to pronounce. This is going to be an idle fishing game. Right now, you can collect fish like this by dragging your mouse over them, and then you can go to the shop and you can buy some upgrades for the fishermen so that they either employ more fishermen or they catch better fish or whatever. You can also upgrade the land. I don't have enough money for that. And I keep forgetting my cheats. What are my cheats? F. F for fish. Come on. Come on. F for fish. That makes so much sense. And then you can buy land and kind of expand your working island. So the idea is that as you fish more, you will unlock more places to fish, new biomes, new different types of fish. And that's kind of the idea for the game right now, but I'm getting lots of good ideas from chat. Down under, we have something called a yabby pump. Collecting bait could be another. Oh, yeah. My brother-in-law is Australian, and so I get to, I have some exposure to some of the Aussie culture through him. But I've seen that where it's like a shrimp gun, right? It's like you stick it into the sand and then suck it up, and then you can like shoot shrimp out onto the beach. I definitely say the longer a fisherman has been fishing, level goes up, so they have a chance of catching higher rarity and bigger fish. Yeah, definitely. A crabbing game could be fun, especially if you and your buddies lose all your crab pots in the ocean. Oh no, that's hilarious because that actually happened to me in real life. I went to the coast with some of my friends, and we borrowed one of my buddy's dad's crab pots, and 3 of them broke as we were throwing them into the ocean. The rope snapped, and it didn't happen all at once. It happened like throughout the day, and so we lost one crab pot, and we're like, oh, that's a bummer. And then later on, we're like, man, I can't believe we lost that one crab pot. And then we threw another one, and it snapped, and then like shortly after that, the third one snapped, and yeah, that was a bit of an adventure. Fishermen could get pulled into the water by sea monsters. That's a good one. Okay. Sea monsters is actually a huge can of worms that could be like a big mechanic. And I would have to spend some time developing what it actually means for a sea monster to appear. It'd be really fun if they could like eat the land and you had to repair the land. Yeah, that's like sea monsters would be like a big feature, I think. Okay, I keep thinking I'm going to get to the end of the chat, but I'm going too slow. I'm going to try and do a fast chat here. This is turning into a scope creep podcast. Yep. Something fishy about the date. Yep. The idea came first from Dual Wielded. Yep. Title came like 10 minutes after. Yeah, but it sealed the deal. Yeah, you have to make the game at that point. Hooking up a fish dating sim. Yeah. Aramis with a few $100K in his bank account. Nicely done. Yeah. I commented on Aramis's latest video saying that I just had so much positive emotion welling up inside of me because I've been talking to Aramis online and offline for years, and it's just been really fun seeing him go through this process of launching a game about feeding a black hole. And yeah, it's really fun to celebrate with him. Okay. Buy boats that collect fish offshore, then come back every X seconds. That is a winner idea. That is a really good idea. Okay, boats as a category. Employ to go fish in deeper waters. Empty their cargo every X seconds. That is a really good idea. Who did that? Who said that? Kyle DeLazy. He gets the credit for the boats. Okay. Aramis, yeah. Now it's time to make more games and still support Black Hole. Nice. Okay. The guy you know says, wait, I missed it. What engine are you using? I'm using Unity because it is the engine that I know and love, that I've been using for like 6 or 7 years now. So it would take a lot for me to try and go long term with another engine. But actually, the video that I'm releasing on Monday is about me making a game in a separate engine. So that'll be a fun video. Stay tuned for that. The best part is we can keep writing more messages. I know. I'm literally falling behind because I have to scroll up now to find a... Okay. We're going to go fast. That repairing the land thing is starting to sound like Raft, where the shark eats your raft and you repair build it. Yeah, exactly. End of chat. Chat never ends. Is this meant to be incremental? Yes, it is meant to be incremental. Thomas is like 5 minutes behind us. I know. I see the live stream on my dashboard here, and I'm like, oh, this is way far behind. But yeah, I think I can probably mess with some YouTube settings so that it's more in the present. I don't know how that works. Thomas's live chat's just become a hangout for all of us. He can go back to work. Yeah, that would be nice. But you guys are giving me good ideas. I don't want to just ignore it. Thomas has been such a good friend and support over there. Shut up. Okay, let's all give Thomas amazingly irrelevant ideas. Nice. YouTube always gets the short straw. What if you could build bridges and possibly docks? Wow. Okay. Aramis. 10 out of 10 idea. Oh, I don't have time for these kinds of bits. Okay, I'm still falling behind in chat. Okay, you can build platforms out into the deep for better loot, but with the risk of sea monsters destroying the platforms and losing fishermen. Oh, I like that. So the land isn't destructible, but you could build wooden platforms that are destructible. I like that too. Aramis, I kind of found both of you at the same time a while ago, so whenever I think of you, I think of both of you type deal. Both of your content is very personal and sharing deep stuff. Yeah, I forgot who I was talking to recently, but somebody told me they get me and Aramis mixed up all the time, which I count as a compliment. What engine do we think he tried out? My bet is Godot. You will have to wait and see. Regarding sea monsters and incrementals, any negatives causing backwards progression should be tread with caution. Yeah, could be new novelty. Yeah, I agree. With incrementals, anything that's negative is there's a lot of danger there, I think. In incremental games, you want to become more powerful. So anything that detracts from that, I think, would not feel good as a player. Faster, more messages. He's catching up. You're the worst. Godot is a safe bet. We'll see. Airman's dabbled in this. Well, in my opinion, with the black hole reset, neat design problem. He got some comments about it, though, which is all I meant. Tread with caution. Yeah. Hey, all. Hey, Rotub. Thomas, this should tell you about the potential of you coming back full steam on YouTube. People want to watch your videos and play. I know. This is actually really heartwarming. And actually a little convicting. I feel guilty how many times people have said, oh yeah, you're alive. So sorry. But also it's funny because 2025 just ended, and I was doing all of my kind of end of the year wrap up for my financials for my game studio and everything business related with expenses and finances and stuff. And figuring out, over the past year, I've got game sales and I've done some contract work and some YouTube money, and it just like does not even compare. YouTube, it makes no sense to spend a lot of time on YouTube because there's just no financial incentive for me. But I really like it, and it's a really good way for me to put my thoughts out into the public. It's a better way for me to become more articulate. It's a better way for me to make connections and be in the game dev community. But yeah, it's so funny. Like I can't remember what the total was, but it was like something ridiculous. Like not, yeah, I won't say any numbers, but I did not make very much money off of YouTube at all. So it's funny that it's kind of what drops first. Let's see. Add space. Nice. Space fish. Black hole fish. I did it, chat. Which you have to feed to. Feeding a black fish. A fish about feeding a dock to a bridge. Okay. This is getting the Wall of Fame as well. A fish about feeding it your whole game. Yeah, like a meta incremental game. Maybe you could get buffs by putting rare fish in fish tanks. Oh, yeah, like a little museum, kind of like Animal Crossing. A fish about feeding a dock to a bridge, but no tanks. Okay. Nice. I love that. All right. I can't wait to see the fishing pole upgrades, level 15,000 fish catchers, all glowing purple, and just warps fish out of the water. Yes, exactly. That's the idea. All right, I did it. I made it to the end of chat. Now we are going to, let's see, what should we do next? So right now we can't deliver rod upgrades to fishermen. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to make it so that rod upgrades self-select a fisherman, and then the fisherman will come pick it up. I think we can do that relatively easily. So let's go to the fishing rod. Let's see how it works right now. Or maybe we want to do it when we spawn it. We probably don't want to make it self-select. So if we go to where we buy a new rod, we set the rod type, we scale it down. No, it probably should be self-contained in the rod. The rod can blast itself out as needing a fisherman because maybe we don't have any fishermen available to take it. So we'll just let it do its own thing, kind of on a timer to check. I should abstract this, but I won't at first. We'll just do it all right now in this class. Float, time last checked for, what do we call a fisherman? For new owner. And then we'll say, new owner check interval. We'll say they can check every 5 seconds or something. And then we'll have an update. And we'll say if time.time minus time last checked for new owner is greater than the interval, then we can try and find a new check for new owner. Okay, YouTube isn't good in terms of bringing people to your game. I guess it depends if the viewers would also play. I'm cooking video scripts right now to target more gamer audiences rather than game devs. Yeah. I mean, I initially started doing YouTube because I thought that it could kind of be the marketing branch of the games that I'm developing. And I have found very little very little return on investment when it comes to game sales and content that I put out for those games. There's been a lot of upsides, building a community and all of that stuff. But in terms of actual converting to sales and revenue for my studio, it hasn't done much. And I think it was Jonas Tyroller that said it makes a lot more sense to just show your game to people who have massive audiences rather than trying to build up a big audience for yourself. That makes sense. And the demographic for people who watch my YouTube channel are people who are game developers, and they aren't necessarily wanting to buy my games and stuff. So I just treat them as separate enterprises now. We must revolt and spam. Why not have a delivery guy that brings rods to the fishermen, and when there are no rods, they collect fish? Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm going to put it on the idea board, but I'm not going to implement that right now. Delivery man to deliver rods and such. Okay. On Discord, Aramis is playing League of Legends. Did he hire someone to play, or maybe he hired someone to chat? Wow. Next level. Impressive people code like this. I only do visual coding in Unreal. I can't write code. Oh yeah, I could not do visual coding. I love typey types. You realize respawn time is like 2 minutes. It just means bro is bad at the game and dies a lot. Yeah. Thank you for your time. Gotta start my day. Nice. Sounds good. YouTube feels like a thing to create opportunities as well as just share your passions with people, which I find value in, even if it's not monetary. Yeah, I agree with that. I have made so many connections and immaterial sort of benefits from YouTube. YouTube has led to a lot of networking opportunities, both with employers, and like it's gotten me contract work. It's gotten me connections to other developers, especially doing the podcast and getting to pick people's brains and ask them about how they were able to sell their games successfully and things like that. So there's a lot of benefits to it, but it's just funny when you pencil it out on paper. It's like, man, it really does not make sense for me to be investing much time into YouTube, but I still want to. Thomas is distracting. I appreciate the love and support. You guys are fun to hang out with. Okay, so now my question is, do we track the existing fishermen in the game manager? That would be great if we did. Nope, we don't, but we can pretty easily. Fisherman. And we will, we'll make a property for this. It's a lot of clicks just for one line of code, but game manager instance fisherman. Let's see. I'm just gonna break the logic out. I'm not gonna optimize it. I'm just gonna make it readable first. Fisherman with old rods. There we go. And we'll just say this is where the fishing rod type is this an enum? I haven't done this in a while. Rod type. Yeah, perfect. It's an enum. So we can say if the rod type is less than this rod type, then we're good to go. So that's the fisherman with old rods. And then I think we want to sort them. So I can just do it actually. We'll do order by distance. vector 3 distance. This position and this is getting a little unwieldy. Okay. So that's a lot of gobbledygook to just say we want the closest fishermen that have the ability to get an upgrade. And then if we'll cast it, or we'll convert it to a list. And we'll say if the count is greater than 0, then we will claim the owner. Okay, I think that makes sense. Good. Game developers play a lot of games, but on the other hand, we tend not to have a lot of free time to spend on them. Yeah, that's the truth. I don't play nearly as many games as I want to, unfortunately. Team Fortress 2. I'm right there with you on the coding, but I use Unreal, so I'm pretty fluent with blueprints. Yeah, man, whatever works. You kind of just hit your stride, and however you can eliminate your obstacles, and if that's just using the tools that you know to get fast at it. I'm all about speed when it comes to prototyping stuff. Any advice for me? I'm working on a game and I've made like most of the separate systems, and now I have no idea, or I'm overwhelmed when trying to bring everything together to make it an actual game. Yeah, relatable. I totally get that. And I feel it's interesting because this is kind of how I have pictured my game developer journey is I learned the technical skills first. I started off with hobby projects, making little game projects in my spare time, enough to put together a portfolio to get hired full-time as a game developer, as a gameplay programmer. And I did that professionally for a few years, and then I kind of nailed down like the technical skills. And then I pivoted to trying to release my own games, working with a publisher and managing a lot of their titles and launches and announcements and things like that, and porting to consoles. And that was kind of the production side of what it takes to get a game out the door, and sort of the non-technical skills that go into launching a game. And now I have pictured myself in an area where I need to get better at game design. Like I've said before, I feel like I'm good at the how, but I need better experience on the what. And so how, like, I can make any tools, I can accomplish any task technically, but I don't know how to put that together into a compelling game. And it's interesting because one of my recent podcasts that I recorded just yesterday, I was talking to the developer, and he was like, "Oh, you don't need to do that. You can just figure out how other games have put their game designs together." And I think it made me stop in my tracks, because I thought, oh, that kind of blew my category, because I'm like, well, I want to become a good game designer. Like, I want to make fun games. And basically he was saying like, well, you can just use what's proven, things that you know are fun, and then you can kind of cobble together different game designs from other well-known games that people like. And that is such an interesting idea to me. And I haven't fully thought it through. So I don't have any advice for you. That's just my little anecdote. I should be doing dev too, but got distracted by Thomas. Yeah, sorry guys. We're all distracting each other. This is actually a group of enablers. We probably all have better things to do right now, but here we are. So glad to be distracted with all of you. Do you play some games for research? Yes, I've been forcing myself to play games for research because I have stopped playing games in general because my schedule is very busy. And I'm trying to put play like research times in my schedule so that I force myself to sit down and play games. So, should the next stream be about vibe coding? Yeah. DLLs, yeah. Oh yeah, C++ and Unity. Yeah, I haven't looked into that. I don't know. I had that issue like many others, and I eventually went and grabbed the free Atlassian Confluence and spent like a week writing everything out so I could get organized. Yeah, I've recently started using Notion, and it's helping me. And actually, I've been using an analog planner too. That's been really helpful for keeping me organized. Okay, Thomas is distracting us, and I love that. Fantastic. So, I wonder if I can. Okay, so we're trying to find a fishing rod to flag its own owner to come and get it. So if we can do that, then we can say, we have, how is it working right now? Let's go into the fisherman class and see how we currently set a fishing rod and assign it to them. Oh, swap rods. Okay, so instead of swap, this isn't even being called. Oh, it's because I got rid of the interaction. Yeah. Okay. So what? Instead of swapping out the rods, we're going to say, well, we can actually keep this. We'll just keep it private. But publicly, we'll say assign nav target, and we'll give it a position, and then we will give it a callback. No. We'll just do this first. Nav agent. Set destination to the target position. And then we're going to have to check. We're going to have to track this. This is going to have to be a state. Yeah. Okay. Target nav position. See, if I were coding by myself, I would be refactoring this because right now the fishermen start from the base and then they go to their fishing spot. But now we want them to come back and get the fishing rod and then go back to their fishing spot. And I would love to abstract a lot of the code for navigation. But that just seems like it is going to take so long and be boring. And maybe that's another reason why I shouldn't live stream, because I feel like I don't want to waste your guys' time with boring refactors. Oh well. How do we want to track this? Actually, I don't even think we need to track that, because what we can do is we can say whenever the fisherman gets to the rod, we can have a collision event that happens. And so if the other tag is a rod, then we want them to go back to their fishing spot, which is target fishing spot. Actually, I'll just make sure that set fishing spot. Yeah, we'll just redo this with its existing spot. So then it'll go back and we will swap the rods with the other get component fishing rod, and it didn't like that. Rod type. Oh, interesting. So the original way that I wasn't actually swapping the rods. I was just setting the rod type and then destroying it. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. And then other .game object. There we go. So we actually don't need to track this anymore. We can just do this. Oops. And that's that. And then we can do that. And that. And I don't know if this will work. Especially, I don't know if this will work on the initial fisherman that spawns with its own rod. That might break some stuff, but we'll see. Thomas to my game engine. The screen isn't big enough for the both of us. Yeah. Here's a question for you all. Did you guys set any New Year's resolutions? In 2025, I didn't set any. And then for 2026, I made like 12. So. We'll watch the boring refactors. We got the comments to keep us busy. Yeah, that's true. That's not a waste of time at all. Okay. You guys are nice. Refactor away. Don't just show the best of game dev. Show real game dev. Yeah. Well, real game dev is cheap and dirty and fast. I had my old boss used to say every game I've ever shipped felt like it was fixed together with tape and popsicle sticks. And that always stuck with me because I always thought that professional game devs would be like trying to perfect a lot of their systems and make sure that they felt pretty good about it. But he was like, yeah, everything I've ever shipped felt like it barely made it across the finish line, which made me feel better. What's the best way I should be introduced to drawing? Oh, yeah. I would love to draw. I'm such a bad... Hey, what game are you working on? Welcome. Welcome to this game that might be broken. Target route is not defined. That's fine. We'll fix that. But here's the game. New person who has come to my first ever live stream. Welcome. And the game is about fishing. And you have a little fisherman. And they just do their thing. And they fish. And then you take your cursor and you pick up the fish. And you collect the fish. And as you collect fish, then you can go to the shop and then you can buy more stuff like another fisherman. And then suddenly you have two people fishing for you. And then as they collect fish, you get to pick up the fish. And then guess what? You get to buy more fishermen. But I can't yet because I don't have enough. I don't have enough fish. I have 8. I need 10. There we go. Boom. Bam, another fisherman. And now we are really cooking, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the entire game. Applause, applause. But I think this will be a really fun game actually, because here if I cheat and give myself some more fish, you can see my proof of concept for expanding your island with more land. And then you can get even more fishermen. and then your whole fishing army is at work, and all you have to do is reap the benefits. So that's the game, and right now we are working on giving fishing rod upgrades to our fishermen. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. My New Year's resolution is releasing my first game. I'm also making a clicker incremental game. I prototyped one during Christmas. Nice. And showed it to my friend. They found it pretty fun. Nice. That's great. IDK if there's something between Rust and C# that would feel satisfying. Yeah. Is it just me, or you write a new feature, you imagine how it will break, but run your game anyway? Yeah. Yeah. You never know if something's going to break your game unless you hit the play button, right? Poor first fisherman, he lost his job. Looks great. I'm sold. Is their Steam page? Oh, that's nice. There's not a Steam page. I've only spent like a week maybe working on this prototype, and it was a few months ago, and I'm just picking it up again. So I haven't put together a Steam page. I wasn't even really planning on talking about it. I wasn't even planning on live streaming today, but here we are. So nobody knows how we got here, but here we are. Thomas needs to be careful. The fishermen might start a union. Yeah, that's true. You gotta keep them well fed and well paid. Are you thinking of making this a mobile game? I am not, because I have made mobile games both personally and professionally, and I just despise the whole process of making a mobile game. It's probably changed now. It's probably been long enough that a lot of the pain points have been fixed, but man, I remember making my first iOS game and just running into linker error after linker error trying to build my game in Xcode, and it was just so grueling. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'll put it on Switch. That's basically like making a mobile game because of all the optimization that you need. What is the file selector tab? Ooh, very astute question, Kyle DeLazy. This is something that I made myself because I was so tired of constantly trying to find my files in the project tab, because just having like one big linear thing or having to search for everything gets old real fast. So the file selector is basically a favorites tab. It's something that I can just click, and it'll take me to whatever folder it's linked to. So I have a folder for my prefabs and materials and scenes. Databases are just what I like store my scriptable objects in. I need to get out of debug mode. There we go. And then sprites, obviously, rendering settings so that I can fix post-processing effects and all that easily. And then these two at the top are for specific scenes. So every game that I make has a base scene, and the base scene is always loaded in the background. And when you click this button, it basically, like I can show you. Let's look at the file selector tab or the file. So it's just this this GUI script, editor script, and if I hit like go to the base scene, then it will first, this is important, save the current scene that I'm in. So if there's any changes, it'll save it, and then it goes to my base scene and opens it up. So if you click it, I hit base scene, boom, now we're in my base scene, and this is where I have like my core game manager, my controller helper, stuff for Steam and music and pop-ups and everything. That I have 2 controller helpers. Oh man, that's embarrassing. Okay, we'll just get rid of that. But yeah, that's the idea, is that I can just easily swap between scenes or pull up file folders that I use a lot, and that just helps me be a little bit faster as I'm developing. What inspired this game? That's a really good question. I don't know. What inspired this game? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've worked on this game, and I can't remember where my idea came from. I can try pulling up my notes and seeing if there's anything. I won't take time. I don't remember. Sorry. No idea what inspired this game. Unity has a favorites area, but you need to use the project's 2-column layout. Yeah, I hate the 2-column layout. It's never been my cup of tea. Sounds like a plugin you should sell in the Unity store. Okay, here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that I have thought about would make a really good plugin for the Unity store, but my time is so limited, and if I put something on the Unity store, that means I have to support it, and Unity is coming out with so many different versions, and they're changing their APIs constantly, and if I have to keep updating and supporting numerous different versions on the asset store, I just think it would be a huge L in the long run. So that's why I don't do that. I guess I could just throw it up on my GitHub. Like, let me show you my scripts. So if you go, I don't have a shortcut for scripts, which is kind of funny. But if you, fun fact, if you hold Alt while you toggle these arrows, it closes every folder. And if you do it while opening it, it opens every folder. So that's a good shortcut to know. But if you go down here, you can see in my, I actually moved it to its own thing. So I have this package that I put in every one of my projects called SSG Core. SSG is just my game studio, Set Sail Games. And in it, I have things that are common to every project that I work in. And so I have a lot of scripts in here. You can see like for unlocking achievements, for music and audio, more core stuff like Bootstrapper is how I start up the game and all the things that I want to do, like my own singleton class and game phases, how I handle input, localization, menus, and then like different stuff for PlayStation and Steam and Nintendo. This package actually isn't up to date compared with my other ones, but that is super handy to have. And I have that in its own GitHub repo, and so I can update it independently and then pull it into each new project. Super handy to have. Any reason the base scene with the managers, not just a game object prefab with all the managers attached to it that you instantiate first? Yes, that is a great question. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Is there any reason that the base scene with the managers is not just a game object prefab with all the managers attached to it that you instantiate first? So the rule with Unity is that you have to have at least one scene loaded at all times. And one of the things that makes a base scene so handy is that if I open it up here, you can see that I have a scene loader object and script. And so this is basically, it does all of my asynchronous loading for me in between scenes. And so if instead of just going like load scene A, and then it just like pops up and then the other one leaves, basically the base scene runs in the background. It's always loaded. So I can unload every other scene and throw a loading screen up in front of it. And then once the new scene is ready, I can remove the loading screen. So that's why it's a scene and not just a game object, because you always have to have at least one scene loaded. Did you make all these assets yourself on Blender? No. It's kind of half and half. Let me think. This fish is from an asset pack. I made the tiles. If you look at this, why did that not move? I don't know why that didn't move. But anyway, all of the land here is made up of individual tiles, and I made the models for that. The rocks, I think, are also from an asset pack. I don't remember, but they're not complicated. It's just really simple stuff. But like everything about the fisherman is like placeholder. It's just the bobber's like a sphere. The fishing rod is just an elongated capsule. The dude is just a capsule. So it's really, the art makes it look like it's more ahead than it really is, because I really haven't spent much time developing the gameplay here yet. So Yeah, there's some favorite tools on the asset store already. I'll send you a simple contract. Add me to the GitHub project. We can do this for any tool or otherwise you have. That should be a project on Unity. Yeah, totally. I'm here just because I watch your videos on porting to every console. Excuse my English, sir. Oh, no, I appreciate it. Your English seems fine. Yeah, porting to consoles is something that I wish that I could talk more in depth about, or actually go into like the dashboards and show stuff. Even like I can't open up my my SSG core package because the scripts reference the API for the individual platform SDKs, and so I think there's some proprietary code that I'm not allowed to share inside of that. So I have to keep that all to myself, unfortunately. But yeah, I wish the console platforms were more open about all of the stuff that you're allowed to talk about. It would be fun. I just recorded some footage for a new video that should be going live within the next couple of weeks about kind of my 2025 and looking forward to 2026. And in it, I pull up one of my spreadsheets that has my game launches, and it shows each month in each platform where I've launched a game. And at the bottom, it's like all of my other spreadsheets that I would love to be able to share, because it's all like my month over month revenue for each platform and for each title. And I track all of this stuff very precisely. And I have a bunch of graphs, and I love all of the data of the different sales for the games on different platforms and stuff. But alas, I can't share that. So maybe sometime in the future, or maybe if I can get everybody here to sign, maybe if I hire all of you and then you guys are now my employees, then maybe I could share that information. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, so let's go back to programming. My development velocity is like 0.2 while doing this stream, but that's fine. Yes, we never actually set the tag for the rods, so let's go to the fishing rod. We'll tag this. Boom. Okay. Value cannot be null. Fisherman with old rods. F dot fishing. Let's do a null check for that. And I mean, I guess we can do this too. 2 null checks. I don't know exactly where that came from, but it doesn't hurt to have more checks. Yes, unpaid interns. Yeah, so many consultants. I think we might be onto something here. Okay. Oh, if we don't have an owner yet, there we go. I think that's our issue. We'll see. And maybe we'll step through this just so that we can see exactly. Yeah, I'm still getting that null reference. So let's see what's going on. Yeah. So let's get out of here into here. Am I adding the fisherman? I don't think I ever added anything to this. Oh, that's funny. Okay. the whole list is empty. We can just say new. And then we need to make sure that we add the new fisherman to this list. Buy new fisherman right here. Add fisherman. Fisherman singular. Okay. What's your take on LLMs used within games, i.e. NPCs talking to people, as well as agentic AI use, using agents to supplement dev work, code, assets, etc.? It depends on what you're asking. Are you talking about if I think they're useful or if I think they're moral? Because those are very separate conversations. And it's kind of like Pandora's box. You know, it's like whether you love it or hate it. AIs are like all the AI technology is coming in full force, and so it'll be interesting to see how it changes, especially programming work. I think it'll be okay. Okay, it looks like we're doing good. Let's see if this guy will come get his new rod. Nope. Set destination can only be called on an active agent. Oh, I bet if I get to the destination, I'm disabling the nav agent, because that sounds like something that I would do. Yeah, look at that. Ugh. What a naive move by Thomas. Am I checking if it's enabled? No, I have a flag for if it reached its destination. I will also have to change this when we swap rods. Okay, let's see if this works. 0.2, that seems quick for a stream. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you said hire us. Yeah, if you sign the NDA as a company entity, anyone within that company is covered. If you sign it as an individual, we would still have to sign it, hired or not. Yeah. This is a large delay. It appears that the game industry has anti-AI right now, but it's hard to argue against the efficiency increases. I was asking in terms of actually having AI in the game itself. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be really interesting having NPCs in a game that can speak autonomously. I think it's going to be weird. I almost feel like it's going to be like an uncanny valley situation of communication. And I don't know if it's going to, like, I think it'll depend on the game, right? Like if you're in a role-playing game and you can kind of have an NPC that can respond to whatever you say to it in a way that keeps the story alive and doesn't break the fourth wall or whatever, I think that'll be really interesting. You know, you go into like a Western town and you don't have to sit through handcrafted dialogue, but you can kind of have your own conversations and they keep it within the theme of like a Western story. I think that would be really interesting. But I also feel I have such a big appreciation for handcrafted dialogue. So I don't know. Like yeah, we'll see. I haven't tried anything like that before, so it might be hit or miss, but like I was playing Tactical Breach Wizards by Tom Francis, and I thought that was going to primarily be a strategy game, but there's so much good dialogue in it that I enjoyed the cutscenes just as much, maybe more than the actual gameplay, because that guy is just so witty, and it was such a pleasant experience going through all of the characters for each levels and seeing all of the banter and stuff. I thought that it was really well done. Okay, that's an issue. Oh, we never set a... We're almost there, guys. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that. Let me show you. So we're at the point where if we buy a fishing rod, we have the fisherman come and get it, but he's not actually picking it up yet. And he's still fishing while he's on the move. So those are two things that we need to fix. Let's only fish if we are actually at a fishing spot. That makes sense to me. And then let's add a collider to the fishing rod. Oh, it's already in. My next question is, do the fishermen have a rigid body? Because I think rigid body, don't use gravity. Okay. Because I think to use the collider trigger events, one of the entities has to have a rigid body. But we'll see if that's true. Okay. Good. That's exactly what yep. At least he picked up the fishing rod. He seems to be pulled between two worlds, though. Actually, I'm going to debug that. We'll see. We'll see what he's doing. Okay. Fisherman. Let's see. So he says he's not at the fishing spot. Oh, we're returning. Yeah, that's fine, actually. Oh, Set fishing spot. We're doing this. So I don't know why. I actually don't know why he's doing that. If the distance is less than 2, then we have made it. So we're relying on the nav agent to be doing all of the hard work. Let's see if we can look into this a little more. Nav agent. Does it really not have the target position? That's surprising. So I wonder if it's I wonder if we keep calling from the fishing rod. Owner equals, oh yeah, so this shouldn't be running anymore. More investigation is needed. All right. I'm glad the chat died down a little bit because then I can actually feel productive. And I just realized I need to check my text messages. Wow. Okay. I silenced my phone and I have texts from 5 different people. Mr. Popular over here. Okay. Physics and non-physics ways of moving. No, I think I'm just using the nav mesh. So it looks like he keeps being called back. Oh, I bet when we, let's see. wonder if we have a way to toggle the collider yet. No, but we should. Okay, here's what I think we need to do. Assign the collider to the fishing rod, and then we will set up a function to toggle the collider. And we will do this like that. Nope. Like that. And enabled equals is enabled. And then when we actually pick up the fishing rod, we will turn the fishing rod's collider off. That makes sense to me. Does that make sense to everybody else? Rod equals. Oh, but we're destroying it. We're destroying this rod. So that actually doesn't make sense. We can keep this. Let me look at our fisherman prefab. Fishing rod. Yeah, I don't think. I don't think the fisherman's rod needs a collider. Maybe that's the issue. We shall see. No. Mm-hmm. Could it be? I'm going to put a log in the trigger. Log other.name, and we'll see what is triggering in the collider of our fisherman. Clear as mud. Is the game done yet? Nice. Yep, it's done. We are running into lots of base tile. I'm pretty sure I put our rigid body to not have gravity. Pretty sure. Yeah, this shouldn't be. We'll try swapping it. Instead of having the fisherman have the rigid body, we'll just put it on the rod because it's getting destroyed anyway. Right? Right, chat? Uh-oh. Oh, that's a prefab bug. Okay. Buy rod. Oh, shoot. Guys, we did it. Nice. Once again, for people who missed it, buy the rod. It spawns in. Our fisherman goes to get it. Okay, he needs to wait until he finishes his cast. But, yep. Now we can buy rods. And they will go and get them themselves. And we don't have to assign them to him. And look how fast he's fishing now. Now that he has this nice blue rod. Fantastic. Game's done. Ship it. Bad jokes aside, you still have those console dev kits. First of all, bad jokes are never aside. Second of all, yes, I have all of my dev kits. And I use half of them still regularly. some for personal projects, and some I did a little bit of contract work recently, helping with a PlayStation port, which was fun for like an online multiplayer game. So I needed to actually use multiple dev kits, which was kind of fun. Thomas, I think your game is a bit bloated. It's super bloated. And it's because this code base literally has the entirety of my game Bridges and Docks inside of it. I don't know how actually, let's see if it works. I fixed the pause menu. Yeah, okay. So I stripped it out. But I'm pretty sure this has, maybe I actually was better with this. Okay. My other prototype projects have like the entirety of Bridges and Docks in the code base. I actually think I cleaned this one out a little bit, which is nice. But great, we got fishermen. We can get rods. That's a bug. 2 of the fishermen wanted the same rod, which is not good. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to do this. This is probably why. Reset the timer. Try again. Bridges and Docks secret level confirmed. Yeah. Do you create all of your own art? How do you tackle getting a hold of enough unique assets to create something you want, as it always seems to become an issue when you miss something you need? Let them race for the rod. I don't make all of my own art. I do a mixture of my own stuff and asset packs, and I bring assets into Blender and modify them, and put different shaders on them and make new materials for stuff. But my goal is not to create everything by hand myself. My goal is to make everything look cohesive so that it looks like it belongs in the same world. So I do not make all of my art. Actually, I would love to partner with an artist. If I could find another person to go into game dev with that could do all of the art, then I would be a very happy man, but I haven't found that person. Yeah, this guy did the same thing. If owner equals, I don't know why it did that, to be honest. But let's do one bug at a time. We should not nav target. We'll do this. Private vector3 queued nav target position, and we will queue it up here, and then we will only use it when we are not fishing. Time to cast, time to reel in. We're gonna do it when it's time to cast. If queued, let's make this nullable so that it can be null. Then if it has a value, then we are going to navigate there instead of nope. Come on, we can do this. Nice. Else. And we also want to clear this value. Beautiful. So now they shouldn't go get the fishing rod while they are casting. Wait, where do the fish go? Why are you counting them? That could be a whole conspiracy in itself. Yeah, it'd be kind of fun if there was like a big pipe that all the fish went into. And then in later levels, you actually go underground and you get to see how they're being processed. Okay. Okay. That goes on the idea board, I think. Where did the fish go? Good question. All right, let's try this again. Rod, boom. Why are you casting, bro? When am I setting this to false? When you swap rods. Oh. This should not be then. It should be when we set a new destination. There we go. Problem solved. Good job, team. Okay, after this, I want to see if we can just have fun breaking stuff. Oh, he still casted even though he was... Is that fishing spot? Oh, I bet it's because... Yeah. Okay, we'll just make a flag for it. It's easier to... I'm okay having more variables in my code if it means it makes my life easier in the future. So let's just make another flag for is getting... let's see, is traveling. That's fine. And then we will say that is true. There we go. That should fix that distance check. Roguelike fish sim. Do you have a state machine for fishermen? Here's the thing. I am intentionally making this game, this prototype, quick and dirty because I have no commitment to keeping anything here. And so my idea is proof of concept at this point and trying to get fast results. Let's see. If he reels in, goes and gets the fishing rod. Yeah, comes back and fishes. And fishes. And fishes. Okay, I know why. We forgot to set the flag to true when you swap rods. So yeah, obviously this would be a lot better with the state machine. Have something a lot tighter as far as the intelligence of the units that are moving around. But right now I'm happy just putting that together with some flags and some logic in the code because I don't know how this is going to develop and I don't want to waste time. Yesterday, so I recorded 2 podcasts yesterday. One was with Mateo, who from Zorro Arts, who recently released Paddle Paddle Paddle, and which is really cool. I've been following him for a while, and he has now sold 170,000 units of his game. It's like a multiplayer rage game, and something that I took away from my conversation with him is that he really develops things quick and dirty, and then if it's not broken, he doesn't bother about fixing it. And I think that that is a really good philosophy, especially when prototyping. Obviously, if you have more like a bigger project or more teammates that you need to communicate with, that's not a good approach to software development. But especially when you're in the proof of concept stage, I am a big advocate of just getting things working and not wasting time. So There we go. Nice. Good job, team. This was a win for all of us. This wasn't just me. This was everybody in here helped me with this. Now we can buy a rod upgrade. The fisherman will finish fishing, go pick up his new rod, go back to his fishing spot, start fishing, and there we go. And then we can buy more land. We can buy more fishermen. And life is good. Okay, now I kind of want to mess with some variables because I think that would be fun. Let's go to no. Fishing rod. Wait time to catch. So let's say, I just want to see what it would be like with different numbers. Instead of 3 and 5, what if we did it like, how fast can we get it? Yeah, this would have to be reset. So let's try it. So if instead we were fishing at an interval between 0 and 0.5, see, that's not going to be fast enough because even if we move the variables down to like 0, you still have to wait for the cast. And so I think we need a way to speed up the casting as well. Because you can't really even get much faster than this, which is not good because we need to get faster. Okay, let me catch up here. Blah, blah, state machines, blah, blah, blah. Need to have bigger, better fish bait. Yeah, I think you're right. See you game devs later. Just got invited to a dark and darker match. Cool. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, the control flow state machines. I'm with you. Yeah, you guys did help distract me. I appreciate that. Fail fast. Yes, that is my middle name. Working quick and dirty makes the most sense to me, since if the game is a hit, that gives you time to clean it up, and the next one, if that's not. Yep. Had to leave earlier, but now I'm back. Welcome back. What did I miss? Well, check this out. We have the ability to upgrade the fishing rods, and the fishermen are now smart enough to see the new fishing rod, go get it, and then go back to their fishing spot. That is what you missed, I think. I don't know when you left, but that's what we just finished completing. So we can upgrade the rods, yeah. Would recommend making a YouTube channel just for devlogs and meeting other devs. No. YouTube is such a time suck. I have put so much time into. Okay, fine. I'll pull it up. I'm gonna let me look here. I'm looking right now. So in all of 2025, I made $1,300 off of YouTube, which sounds good from a side hustle standpoint, or like side income, over $1,000 on YouTube. But if you take into account how many hours I put into everything related to YouTube, it just makes absolutely no sense. So it's I wouldn't recommend it unless you really like the process of making videos. So it's been something that I've contemplated a lot, if I want to keep going, or if I want to just keep doing the podcasts or whatever. But yeah, it's like, it's not, definitely don't do it if you are incentivized by the revenue. If all the rods spawn in one place, then it would be a long time for the fishermen that are a long way from it. Yeah, that's a good observation, and I'm planning on. So I guess we can back up, and you guys can help me kind of brainstorm a bit. So the idea for the way that this game will develop is that um, you will expand your land, you'll have more fishermen, and it will kind of be this sprawling set of island environments. And obviously, there will be like one central hub, which is denoted by this beautiful gray square. But I also think it makes sense to have other buildings that pop up as you unlock different types of land. And so maybe it will be a thing where um, you buy a fishing rod upgrade, and it will spawn at the place that is closest to the fishermen that you want it to upgrade. Or somebody suggested earlier that, man, this feels good. Honestly, just like collecting fish like this is a good mechanic. I'm actually pretty happy with this. But somebody mentioned earlier the idea of having runners, which I like. So maybe you do keep this one central hub where all of the new upgrades spawn, and it's up to you to have runners that go and distribute them. And I was thinking about doing like a day-night cycle where it's like during the day you try and collect as much fish as you can, and then when the sun sets, then that's when you get the opportunity to buy upgrades. We'll see if that's something that I implement or not. I'll probably prototype it, but like, what if your number of fishermen stay the same between rounds, but their upgrades have to be re-equipped? And so it might benefit you to hire a lot of runners to deliver the upgraded fishing rods, because every day they need to like go send them out or something. I don't know. That's just an idea. I don't know if that would make it more fun or not. It'd probably just be burdensome to have to do that. This is a bug. Oh, that's why. Thomas Stewart, mediocre programmer. Okay. So the box with the count is the store then? Yeah. It's not as obvious because before you used to have to run up to it to interact with it, but right now I'm just opening the shop with a shortcut. I think an experienced dev may use basic placeholders so dev can just observe the prototype and create dynamic gameplay in his head, just image by image. Yeah. No need to polish a prototype to get game feel. Totally. Will you do another stream? Maybe. I didn't know how difficult it would be to get up and running, but I did it, and here we are. It's kind of fun. The problem is that obviously my productivity doing these live streams is very slow, unless I just ignored chat, which kind of defeats the purpose, I think. Maybe I could set a timer and do like 5 minutes of development and then go back to the chat when the timer goes off or something like that. But if I do these regularly, I'm just not going to get very much done at all. And this kind of has turned into like a show and tell where I'm showing you what I've done, which is great, but I also want to save stuff for devlogs too, because I want to be able to keep the updates going in a place where people can go watch it and it can be a little more polished. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. If I do live streams, I think they'll be few and far between. Maybe I'll do like what Aramis does on Fridays or something. Maybe I'll start as soon as he ends his live stream, so then he can send all his people my way. That'd be cute. But I don't know. I'm not much of a live streamer. I also have trouble thinking and talking at the same time, so I don't know if it's something that I would be necessarily good at, but I enjoy chatting with people and getting feedback. As you can see here, there's a big list of ideas that we've talked about while I've been working on this, which is super helpful for me. So I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts. How many views for 2025? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. How many YouTube views did I have in 2025? Does anybody want to take a guess? My channel has a little less than 17,000 subscribers. I released, I don't know how many videos, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 videos. Most of them were podcasts. So you guys can take a guess at how many views you think I got in 2025. And I will tell you in 3, 2, 1. 288,000. So I don't know if that is more or less than you would think. 35,000 hours of watch time, which is gross. That's crazy, man. Think of all the productivity that could have occurred in 35,000 hours. Let's see. Was this just YouTube? Yeah, I'm just streaming on YouTube. I don't even have I don't know how Twitch works. Literally, I think I only made a Twitch account so that I could watch Aramis. Like, he was the only person that I wanted to watch, and so I think I made an account just to watch him. Yeah, I don't have a TikTok either. I don't watch TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account to post stuff. I'm kind of just doing YouTube and Twitter or X. I used to post on there more, but not really anymore. Fish drop into baskets. Runners pick up baskets to take them to cooks who cook them and take them to then sell. Ooh, I like that. I like having the little economy of like, you back out, you have like this big expansive land of islands, and you just have people running around doing their different jobs. I like that idea a lot. You have all the fishermen, and then you have people running in between. People are cooking. People are bringing fish to each other. It would be a very different game at that point. It would be like a management sim where you're like, oh, we don't have enough cooks to keep up with how many fish are coming in, and I think that would be a very different game. Right now, I'm thinking this will just be a really simple game about collecting fish. And so that's kind of like the one thing. Some advice that I got recently was just to try and scope a game that's stupidly simple. And collecting fish seems stupidly simple. So I'm a little hesitant to expand it too much. Is this a commercial project or just personal fun? Well, I am fun employed, so there's not really much of a difference between those two things. Because I am aiming to make a living off of the games that I sell. So that was kind of a snarky way of saying commercial. It's supposed to be commercial, but it's supposed to be very short development time. Hopefully just a couple of months, but we'll see. I mean, it's already fun to play. The upgrade mechanics are there. I think that so far this is a promising small prototype that can lead to a small game. And the name of the game is profitability for hours put into the project, right? It's not like I'm not trying to make the next $1 million game. I'm trying to figure out if I can develop a game in a time span and sell it to where my hourly wage works out to be, something that's not cents on the dollar. So last to stop coding your game gets a whole game engine. That's funny. Man, you still going? Hype. Yeah, Eli, that's, me. I just like to stream all day long. That's what I do. Maybe you can randomly catch piranhas and they eat some fish in your stack. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna add that to my junk idea. So we have catching junk, tires, boots, maybe piranhas. How the heck do you spell piranhas? Probably something like that. Maybe you can randomly catch. Oh, I just read that. Yes, you trade off productivity for exposure. Yeah, that's right. The point of a stream is primarily for exposure, and in this case, feedback or idea generation. We feel a sense of involvement and are more likely to wish list. Definitely, yeah. And I've seen a lot of benefit even just now. And I think that there is a benefit about community too, because people are popping into this chat that I know really well. Some people that I have no idea who you are, and some people who I know that I've recognized your name slightly from the past. But it's cool getting to just chat with people, especially because, you know, I've been self-employed for a couple years now, and it's just me in this room. And I don't get to run ideas by people unless I seek that out and get that sort of interaction. And I love chatting with people. I took the Myers-Briggs test a long time ago now, but I remember taking it, and you know, they rate you for your percentage of introversion versus extroversion. And I remember I scored 49% introvert, 51% extrovert, which I thought was kind of funny because I'm like right on the line. But today was one of those days where I was just feeling like, man, I wish I could talk to somebody. And so I was like, hey, why don't we just turn on the camera and then I can talk to people? So that's a major benefit as well. I don't know if I would call it major. It's a benefit. Will there be music to this game? Yes. I don't know what that'll look like. Yeah, definitely. I like the old, like old timey fishing village, sort of like pastoral field. Like, I don't know. I haven't really articulated what I'm looking for in terms of music, but I think I'll know it when I'm looking for it. So that's usually something that I do last. But on my previous prototype, let me pull it up. I don't think I set up audio for you guys to hear. So I don't know if you guys can hear the audio for this file. But this is one of the prototypes that I actually added music for as one of the first things that I did. And it actually adds a lot to the experience. So it's like when you're spinning the slot machines, it's like dun 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 dun. And then when you start fighting, it goes boom, 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 boom. And then when the fighting's over and you kill everyone, it goes, and the crowd cheers. And so it's actually kind of like it feels good to experience, even though you're not actively fighting. The fighting sequence, I think, feels good because of the audio. And my daughter is 2, and she'll come into my office and she'll be like, "Are you working on the ha game?" Because she knows that when you win a fight, they go ha. So anyway, do it on a different day of the week so we can have multiple pizza nights. That's great. A pizza a day keeps the doctor away. What made you go into making an incremental game from the strategy game? I'm going to make a whole devlog about this, but basically my strategy game, my micro RTS was overscoped, and to make the game that I want to make will require more time. And so I want to focus on pivoting to a smaller project in the short term and making something that's fun that I can ship within a few months. So that's the major reason. Collaborative stream with Aramis. Yeah, that'd be fun. Cause you're a boomer. Yeah. I feel old. I'm like an old 30-year-old. Make small games meme worthy, honestly. Make game fun, make game appealing, make enough to make more game. That's it. That's the strategy. Let's see. Here's an idea. What if one of your fishermen catches a special fish that adds extra points to the box? Definitely, that's a good idea. That's something that I have on the docket where right now, if you upgrade the fishing rod, then it upgrades the how fast they cast or how fast they catch fish. And my idea is if you upgrade the bobber, then it upgrades the type of fish they are more likely to catch. So as you get like, you know, you can get like a silver bobber and then a gold bobber, and then you can get like bigger, more fish that are worth more. And so that's kind of the design route that I'm going down right now. We cannot hear anything. Yeah, sorry. I figured I don't know how to set up live streams, guys. I literally wasn't even sure if this was going to work, but I'm glad that you can at least see me and hear me. The tie roller interview with the guy who made Slots and Daggers is really good for those types of details. Yeah, Friedemann. That was I've listened to a couple of his podcasts. He did a really good job with. Honestly, he's made a couple of bangers. He's a really good developer, and so he's a fun person to pay attention to. Bait versus bobber. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. I might start to wrap up the stream here. In conclusion, we have added the feature to allow fishermen to get upgrades of their fishing rods. And that is quite the accomplishment for how long have we been going? I don't know. Is there a way to tell? I don't remember when we started. So I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. Maybe we'll do this again. Or maybe I will decide to be more productive, but probably not. I definitely won't do this on a schedule. It might just be when I feel like a thing, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out. And if you guys have any more thoughts on ways that I can improve this game, then let me know. Come hang out on my Discord. That's probably where I'll post if I found a little thing. A little over 2 hours. 2 hours and 12 minutes is how long we've been going. Discord is where the only place I posted that I was going live here, but I don't know if YouTube told you to, probably. I appreciate you all, and let me catch up with the chat before I sign off. 2 hours. Yep. Around 2 hours, 12 minutes. You guys know. Yeah. Please do this again. I think we really enjoyed your stream. I appreciate that. Later, guys. Love the idea of streaming. Thank you, Thomas. Have a nice time of day. Appreciate it. Cool. Bye, guys. Keep on keeping on, and I'll keep fishing. Over and out. Awkward outro. That's a really bad habit I've gotten into. I've ended a couple of my recent podcast recordings just saying awkward outro, and I need to find something better to say. But oh well, bye.